Yes, I am a pro fighter, but I've been a martial arts instructor far longer than my time as a fighter. And one of the main things that I've noticed as an instructor is so many people struggle with the overhand. It's a hard punch for many people to understand. They're going, okay, this is my hook, this is my straight punch. What am I doing with this overhand? And when they do think they get it down, very often it's really sloppy and there's not much power behind it. So let's break down how to throw this punch that causes so many knockouts. Tomorrow, Black Friday is upon us, and my favorite supplement company is having a massive Black Friday sale. You've heard me talk about the magnesium breakthrough, the Masszymes, the sleep breakthrough. All of this is gonna be yours for such a great price. My special code will unlock up to $100 in gifts for you. And my special By Optimizers page is gonna feature an extra 15% off special bundles. That's on top of the 10% which you already get. And if you jump on this right now, today, Thursday the 28th, you're gonna get an extra 25% off your entire order. Be sure to take your health to the next level. Head over to byoptimizers.com/Gabriel and use my promo code Gabriel10 to save big. All right, everybody, we're talking about that overhand, that punch, which when you think about how many times it's thrown in a fight versus the straight punches or the hooks, it's definitely lower. But the number of times where it lands as the knockout punch, I feel like it's proportionately high. Good percentage of shots come off overhands. The KOs come off overhands versus jabs or uppercuts, which are, far less likely, I feel, even though those are still great punches. But again, as I get people trying to throw this, I go like, okay, overhand. The number of people who go, oh yeah, I don't know how to do that, like it's actually like a question on how to even throw it, is super high. And the other people who do think they know how to throw it, very few have the technique down correct. I'm actually gonna move Bob over here because I want you to be able to see my actual punching arm, the elbow, and what's happening. So very first thing, distance. I know many people always struggle understanding that all punches can be changed distance-wise, even a jab, right? We think we want the person to be right here, but we can throw it from in here as well. Well, same on the overhand. Yeah, ideally I'm gonna be right around this range so that I can land in that perfect spot, but I can do this from in tight, and I can do this from really far. Boom. All right, we want to be able to throw all our punches at a variety of distances, as long as we keep the general technique correct and we don't start compromising things. So very first thing, what do we do with our body? Well, very similar to throwing any punch off the backhand. And by the way, in general, I wouldn't say overhand off the front arm. It just never seems to go well. I've seen some beginners try it, but you don't see pros do it. There must be a reason. So off the backhand, I get that rotation. Same as always, right? That's the motion. Now, if I was to eliminate that motion, all I'm doing is that. It's essentially the punch. I'm coming almost over top something. I have to imagine that there's something here and I'm trying to get over it. And then I start dropping down. And I think that's the easiest way for me to explain how to start this punch. Come up and start dropping down. Because otherwise people end up doing some weird stuff with their arm. So if we go up and down, we land our shot, we actually add in all that rotation. What I'm looking to make sure I do is I have my elbow very high up. If I come more like this, it's really just a hook. We want to be coming over top and downwards. And of course, we're only aiming for one side of the head. We don't want to be aiming over here. I find that landing either to the forehead or down to the jaw, those are the two easy spots to land. The jaw is going to have more consequence, but up here is great as well. And a lot of times people with their guards let their hands drop and the forehead is much more open. And if you're looking for an easy way to set this up, just a double jab. You just move in, double jab, and throw. Now, getting the head off the center line is so important because as I throw here, you can see if I go for my overhand, even if I rotate, it looks slightly awkward, but also I'm right in that center line for getting counterpunched. Once I rotate my head to the side, you can see the punch looks so much more flowy than it did before. So make that a staple part of throwing your overhand. Head drops to the side as you rotate your body. And I think just getting those mechanics down, almost dropping maybe 60% of the weight to the front leg, is a big part of why people mess this up. They don't get that drop and they don't get their head off the center line. If you combine that with lifting your arm over that imaginary target, which you have to climb, then all of a sudden you almost have, you have your overhand down very well. And I think those few key motions, those few key little pieces are what put this together and make it such a devastating punch. Now, somebody like Ilia Topuria highlights very well how you should throw this. And what I mean by that is he does not let his arm come out prematurely. Many people, when they go for their overhand, they're kind of out here. And their arm almost leads in front of their shoulder. But Topuria, when he throws, he almost gets his body started, and at the last second, he starts cranking it in. And this is going to make it so much harder to see coming. Might even give it a little bit more power, potentially. So as you throw your overhand, think, okay, I don't need to put my hand way out. It doesn't need to come back and way out like that. It could potentially stay tight to your head during that motion, and then just think at the end, I'm just going to pick it up and over this imaginary target. It's good to study fighters like Topuria who are successful with this punch and go, what are they doing? How are they accomplishing such fantastic connection which lead to KOs? So there are some tips on how to land that overhand. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you're able to get in and start working this on either, I guess, mid-air, pads, or even the bag. And always practice. Yeah, there are moments where we swing through, like that for sure, but also practice on the bag where you hit and you have to pull back. We want both of those to be key elements of how you train this. Swinging through, getting the hand back to the head, but also hit and pull, because you don't want to stay exposed for too long. Let's call it there, everybody. Thanks for joining. I will see you back here soon for another episode.